Only government can assure that our basic human needs are met and that deep inequities are corrected. Only government can mobilize the full resources of the nation to address a universal threat like global warming. Good government is the embodiment of shared sacrifice and shared responsibility. Number 5, democracy means having a voice in all the institutions that affect our lives. Democracy is not just a form of government or the act of voting. It is the spirit of dignity, inclusion, and collective responsibility. Just as political institutions are strengthened when they are accountable to all the people they affect, if workers and communities have a greater voice in corporate policies, firms would be more attentive to the common good, less focused on short-term results and more productive over the long haul. A new economic agenda. Creating an economic economy based on community values is a long-term project, but the current crisis is an opportunity to get started. Here are 10 things we can do right now to put our principles into practice. Put Americans to work. Unemployment has risen sharply in the past 6 months, with more to come. As usual, the highest rates of job loss are among people of color and youth. At the same time, there's a huge amount of work that needs to be done in our communities to invest wisely for the future. Nurturing and educating our children, building and repairing public works, preserving affordable housing, improving public health, converting to sustainable sources of energy. We believe stimulating the economy by creating millions of new community-building jobs and public and private sector projects targeted to communities with the highest level of unemployment. Cleaning up the mortgage mess. The collapse of the housing market and the spiraling increase in home foreclosures are the most dramatic symptoms of a system gone bad and the most immediate threat to families and communities. An effective response must keep Americans in their homes, repair the damage inflicted on our neighborhoods, and prevent this kind of fiasco from happening again. We believe using government authority to convert millions of problem loans into affordable housing and high foreclosure communities and creating a new federal agency with regulatory authority over the entire mortgage industry and a mandate to ensure responsible, non-discriminatory lending. Repair the safety net. Even during good times, many American families struggle to make ends meet, but the need for help grows dramatically in times of crises. Emergency assistance is one of the most efficient ways to stimulate the economy in a downturn. However, national safety net programs have major gaps in coverage, are inadequate to meet the demand. In addition, the federal poverty standard, a key benchmark in determining eligibility for many programs, is woefully out of date. We believe expansion and modernization of emergency assistance programs, including unemployment insurance, food stamps, TANF, and home heating assistance, and increasing the federal poverty level to reflect the current cost of living. Cover everyone. Our healthcare system is not just a moral failure, but also an economic burden. Medical debt among uninsured and underinsured families is a key factor in personal bankruptcies. Chronic health problems in many American communities reduce our productivity and well-being. Waste and profiteering in the unregulated private insurance market puts a burden on American employers and drains capital from productive uses. We can't afford to wait until the economy has recovered recovered to begin working on these problems because they are part of why our economy is ailing. We believe guaranteeing all Americans, including immigrants, health coverage through a choice of regulated private insurance or an affordable public plan is necessary. Curb predatory lending. Instead of making housing, healthcare, education, and childcare more affordable, we have encouraged Americans to pay for their basic needs by borrowing money at high interest rates. Our addiction to consumer debt is toxic to individual borrowers, perilous for our financial system, and unhealthy for the nation. We believe national regulation of the credit industry to prohibit excessively high interest rates, predatory fees, and other abuses, and federal investment in credit unions and other financial institutions that promote responsible consumer lending is needed. Give workers a choice. The stagnant income of working America is the root cause of the financial crisis we are facing. During the most recent business cycle from 2000 to 2007, the productivity of American workers grew by 20%, but median weekly earnings rose by only 2%, and median income actually fell by 1%. A major reason for the decline is that employers have improperly prevented workers from forming labor unions to represent their interests in the workplace. The current economic conditions make the elimination of barriers to unionization even more important because unions and the voice they provide for working people are part of the solution to our current situation, not part of the problem. We believe allowing workers to form a union when a majority sign up, helping workers get a contract in a reasonable period of time, and toughening penalties against employers that violate workers' rights would provide significant protection for American workers. We need to get real on immigration. Our broken immigration system ignores two realities. One is that immigrants come to the United States because a global economic system deprives them of opportunities in their home countries. The other is that immigrants, as workers, entrepreneurs, consumers, and taxpayers, are a positive and dynamic force in our economy, benefiting all of us. U.S. policy promotes the free flow of capital across borders, but places arbitrary and inhumane barriers on the movement of people. We believe a realistic immigration policy would include a system of regularized migration that protects U.S.-born and immigrant workers and an employer-funded investment bank that promotes economic development in immigrants' home countries. Raise labor standards. National standards designed to help workers balance family and work obligations are completely out of line with current realities. Even with recent increases, the federal minimum wage is still far too low to support a family, forcing many workers to take multiple jobs. We no longer live in an age where one parent in a family is typically home to care for children and other family members. Yet many workers lack a minimal protection offered by paid sick leave and risk ruinous loss of income if they must take off work because of a medical problem in their family. We need to raise and index the minimum wage and ensure that every worker has access to paid sick days and income during extended absences from work because of medical needs of the worker or a close family member. Thank you.